everyone. It's Tuesday, just after lunch, on what is just a glorious day. I'm sure you can see around me how wonderful it is. But decided to come and sit in the shade for a minute. It's a little bit hot. But I wanted to have a quick chat today. I put a post out a few days ago because I'm all excited. I'm really happy. I love what I see is happening and going on in the world. And a lot of people are clearly now waking up and aren't quite sure if they're seeing what I'm seeing. So I wanted to point out some of the wins that are taking place at the moment, some of the great stuff that's going on, because it is profound. It is, as many of us who've been awake and aware for some time have expected things to roll out. Still not seeing anything that shocks me. Still not seeing anything that makes me go, oh crap, oh we're losing, oh crap, things aren't going as planned. It's not, it's going brilliantly. And for a lot of people, this is difficult to see because they might not be kind of looking internationally, particularly over in the US, at what is taking place over there. And for a lot of us, we've known for a long time about things like the Russian collusion story that was happening in the US, where they tried to say that Russia helped Trump winning elections and all the other nefarious things that they indicated were taking place. Now, this was obviously thrown out of the water by the John Durham investigation. And if you don't know any of this stuff, write down the names I'm saying or what information I'm giving you and go and investigate for yourself. Again, going and uncovering the truth as an individual is a part and parcel of almost the ritual of waking up. You have to see it for yourself. You have to understand it for yourself to fully comprehend why people like me are so happy with what we're seeing roll out. I'm utterly convinced a lot of what is going on is purely being done to wake the normies. But in terms of what's happening in the US, what you're going to see is this boomerang effect I keep talking about. So whatever the bad guys, let's say the Dems, the elite, the parasites, however you want to put it, the deep state, whatever they accuse people like Trump or his allies or people on a similar path, whatever they accuse them of, they're guilty of themselves. And what we're going to see as the months roll and weeks roll by is every time they're going to make an accusation or throw something out there, it's going to boomerang back at them. For example, they're just about to try and indict Trump for espionage, amongst other things. And as a result, what you're seeing come out of it is the right just coming out with every bit of evidence available in terms of what Biden did, hiding those boxes in his garage next to his Corvette, of what Hillary Clinton did in terms of rinsing her computer and smashing it to bits with a hammer and all of her tech when it was realised that she had documents she should not have had her hands on. Bill Clinton stuffing his in his sock drawer. It's been revealed that Obama now was very, very aware of what was going on during all of this Russia collusion and everything else, and he kept quiet. So everything they're accusing Trump of, they're guilty of themselves, and we're starting to see it drip into the mainstream. And it has to be this way. There's no other way. We've got to wake the normies up, but we can't do it with a bomb drop. And even if you did drop a bomb, a lot of them would refuse to see it. We've seen that with COVID. We've seen it with COVID. They will try and defend their position as much as they possibly can because they don't want to think that they're wrong, especially when you're dealing with people who are quite academic. Because they've been a part of an establishment, an institution. They've believed in that institution. They've been taught a certain way. They've been taught to believe the experts, and that is the way it is. It's fact. Whereas for those of us who've got more rebellious natures or more maybe logical mindsets, we don't look at things the same way necessarily. So we've got to go above and beyond in the reveal, but it's got to be done in a certain way. So we're starting to see the conversations surrounding paedophilia and child abuse. The Mel Gibson thing's going to be incredible because he's going to obviously be producing this film. He's well recognised, producing this film about the child trafficking network, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's not just some dirty little perverts in the next town along. This is an industry. These people are sick. And we have to get the truth out about that. And I've said this all along. Once the world finds out the truth about the child crimes, you know, we're going to see some people uniting across the world. The people are going to unite and everything shifts. Something else to consider as well is there's going to be a lot of pantomime taking place. We're watching it now, the Sunak Johnson thing. There's a lot of pantomime taking place, a lot of distraction. The COVID inquiry thing, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. They're coming out and they're saying, we want masks. everyone's going to have a lateral flow test. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? It is absolutely blatant that these guys are bought and paid for, if that's going to be the angle that they take. Maybe they're trying to throw off the media. Maybe they're trying to throw everyone off. I find it unlikely, because as far as I can tell, they're establishment creatures. But that might be the situation. That might be what's taking place. I don't know. But again, it's lathered in bullshit. It's lathered in lies. And let it, because the more that they blatantly lie, the more that they blatantly reveal themselves, the quicker people are going to wake up. People are only so ignorant. We've got to fight against that, you know, that conditioning that they've had, that lifelong conditioning that they've had. So it's going to take a lot of balls dropping. Now, the beauty in what I'm seeing is, particularly within the US political system at the moment, is a multi-pronged attack against the elites. So they're coming in from all angles. I was on TAT radio earlier and I mentioned some of it. You've got James Comer, who's going after Hunter Biden's partner. And that's going to be quite interesting. He's going to launch, or he has launched a subpoena for that one. You've got Merrick Garland, who they're going after now. It looks like they're going to indict Merrick Garland. He's the Attorney General. He's a dodgy little man, if ever there was one. And it looks like they're going to launch a subpoena for him before long. It's very clear now in the media that, you know, Joe Biden sent over 200 billion over to the Ukraine. And now we know that he and Hunter received 10 million from the Ukraine. That's not dodgy at all. The lawyer, it's clear now that the lawyer who went after Trump in terms of the raid on Mar-a-Lago is the same lawyer that represented Jeffrey Epstein. Obviously, you've had with the banks now, there's two banks now that have had to pay out Jeffrey Epstein's victims absolutely massive sums of money. Now, those massive sums of money are not for nothing. To my mind, they paid for the NDAs on that. I don't know, but we'll see. But again, it's gone mainstream. People can't be missing this. It's dropping all of those bits of information. The House Judiciary have asked for a subpoena for Garland for all the texts, emails and notes of the meeting with the FBI reference Mar-a-Lago, which is pretty huge. And all of this is showing a two-tier justice system throughout the US. And that will reverberate across the world and have that ripple effect. You've now got, yesterday it was announced by, I think it was Chuck Grassley, who's in Congress, that a foreign national has allegedly suggested that he's got the audio for 17 different conversations, referring to the Biden crime family and foreign nationals, foreign nations, which is fantastic. It's all going to boomerang across. Everything that they throw at Trump and his allies and those of us who are fighting for freedom is going to reverberate back to them. And it's going to happen in the mainstream, because they can't help but go after Trump in the mainstream. They have to do it. In which case, they're going to I watched a video, I watched footage yesterday. A guy called Boris Epstein, who works for Trump. He's certainly part of one of the Trump crew. He was on, I think it was CNN. It might have been MSNBC. It might have been another one. But he was on there, and the reporter, she was having a go at him for what he was suggesting about Hillary Clinton smashing up her PC with hammers and so forth. And literally live, mid-segment, she said, nope, stop. Fact check, please, fact check. And she went off to one of her little minions, live on the show, to try and call out what Boris Epstein was saying as a lie. The fact checker came back and said, no, he's right. He's right. That was live. That was in front of a ton of normies. That actually Clinton, she did take a hammer and she did destroy evidence. And so they're going to start seeing this two-tier system, and it's become blatant, and they're going to start asking questions. And where does that go? Well, we all know who are awakened. Once you start asking questions, then you find more questions you need to ask and more questions you need to ask, because it's all interconnected. It all links together. And they're going to start going through their awakening and their unraveling. And as time goes on, there's going to be more and more topics come to the fore. So we're starting to see the fall and the collapse of a lot of the left mainstream, or lamestream media, should I say. Your CNNs, your MSNBCs. And you're starting to see the rise of independent media, alternative media, independent journalists, with the likes of James O'Keefe supporting that now. Obviously, we've got Tucker, who's just taken the stride to go independent. There's so much happening on the journalist side of things. It's incredible. And I would invite anyone out there who's got an urge, go do it. Go do it. Pick up your iPhone. Go do it. The more of us out there talking the truth or bringing the truth, the better. Because the sooner everyone wakes up, the sooner we can bring real change, absolute real change. We've got to have the majority on side. It's predicted about 6% of the world population will never wake up. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about that. Leave them. That's the way it is. Everyone else is getting it, whether they want to or not. And also in the UK at the moment, you know, we've had the Philip Schofield thing. Obviously, the Rolf Harris was brought up again recently. We're starting to see conversation about Harriet Harman coming out. For those of you that don't know, was it the Pi Information Exchange? I believe it's called Paedophile Information Exchange. It was known as Pi. And I think it was 70s and 80s. And these were government ministers, amongst other people similar, who were pushing for a conversation about bringing paedophiles into the fore, and that it was okay to do what they did. It was just about creating relationships with children, not child rape, which is what it actually is. But she started being mentioned again. It's all coming to the fore. And whilst we've got to keep pushing our narrative, understand that you're going to see things that come back and it's going to look awful. And it isn't necessarily awful. It isn't. Because the truth has to come out. And sometimes it is going to be that boomerang. And it's going to feel like the good guys are getting handled badly. They will, but it's going to go and swing back the bad guys in the face at the same time. We're seeing it happen now. Every single day I get excited, predominantly because of what I see happening in the US and the fact that all these indictments are coming out. They're absolutely pushing to impeach Biden. It's going to come, but we have to be patient. We have to be patient and understand this has to roll out a certain way, and it will all come to the, well, a huge amount of it's going to come to the fore before the UK and US 2024 elections. Wouldn't surprise me if we didn't end up seeing Trump break away and RFK Jr. break away and end up being running mates. Who knows? Who knows at this point? The point is exciting, and we should be engaging with that excitement and understanding that the world is changing, and it's changing for the good, because the bad guys are getting caught out, and they will continue to get caught out. It's too late now. Too much is out there. There's too many of us awake. For those that of you have been in the background for years and you've been pushing to wake people up, my hat is off to you. I feel you. I hear you. But try not to feel worn down. Try not to feel battle weary if you can help it, because the good stuff is here. The stuff we've been lining our popcorn up for has arrived. And every single day you watch it now, almost every single day, something will drop. And it might seem small. It might seem minuscule. But you've got to look for the little things, because that's where the changes happen. So, for example, I've been watching White House press conferences for briefings for years. I'm a bit sad like that, and I can see the shift. I can see that journalists starting to ask more difficult questions, even those from the left. Little things like, I keep an eye on, I'm not into it, but celebrity gossip, celebrity news, to see if the narrative is switching. So much more is coming out now, whether people believe it or not, but the regularity with which so-and-so's a paedophile, so-and-so's a Satanist, so-and-so is a witch, practices witchcraft for evil. It's regular now, and it is the names that we know about. It is the ones that we have suspicions about, and it's becoming more and more prolific, even from what I would call maybe leftist commentators. It's more and more prolific. If you look at even our mainstream media now, they're trying to deflect and move away from certain things, but they can't deny certain things either. And you're seeing them struggle to push their narrative out there under the circumstances with which the actual truth is available to us. So they're going to keep coming, and they might get harder, they might get faster, they might get more difficult, they might push back. They're going to push back. I've said for months, in terms of the bad guys are going to feel like cornered animals at one point, and that's when they're the most dangerous, because when an animal is cornered, it turns around and fights for its life. We're seeing false flags starting to build, potentially. They're starting to bring back the COVID narrative. I mean, I think it was the White House even the other day was saying we were thinking about bringing back masks and so on and so forth. They have to stop Trump. You've got to remember, that is one of their key things they need to do, is to stop Trump from taking office, because he's got the receipts. I've said before, and I'll say it again, I can pick 100 holes in Trump. I can pick 100 holes in Trump. I've learned to be able to sit on the fence and look at things very black and white if need be. However, who do I want up there who understands the geopolitical, the economic, the societal position of the world, and is likely to fight for we the people? And right now, it's looking like Trump. I like RFK Jr. I think he's got a lot to offer, but I don't think the establishment fear Bobby as much as they fear Trump. But hey, that would be a lovely running partner. So yeah, lots and lots of good stuff happening. I mean, the fact that the BBC have built out this verified crap, you know, they're running scared. They're going to try and shut down the narrative left and right. They're going to come for us. The fact that we've got Twitter at the moment, must be a good guy, sat on the fence there, but must be a good guy. We've got the Twitter platform a little bit freer. They can try and shut us down, but they're not going to have nearly as much welly as they had before. So keep at it, keep going, enjoy the wins. The wins are left and right. And as for what's going on in the UK, well, across the world with PHA and PFFA, it is incredible. The people are activated, people are moving. We've got lots and lots of good stuff coming up. We need help with funding. We do need help with funding and donations. We've got some key projects we've got to get moving forward that support mental health in our young people. Two of the biggest issues, as I can see it, that are going to happen in the health arena, as well as supporting education and what real health looks like. I'm on my own health journey. By no means am I there yet, but I'm on it and I'm feeling good for it. And I'd encourage everybody to take that little bit of time out to go and educate themselves on what works for them, how they can really help, improve their health. We've all been under attack. We've all had a pretty long war. It's been a long old battle, and it's very easy to get tired. It's very easy to get worn down. And I had I think it was my last all hands on deck chat with Liz about gut health, and we'll have more coming on that front. Really start looking into this stuff, start taking care of yourself, because the NHS is not looking good at the moment, and it's not going to look better once the truth come out about COVID and the jabs, which they are thick and fast now. If you look at where we were a year ago and look at the information that's out there now, we've had a profound effect. We should all be very, very proud of ourselves that we've been able to impact the information getting out there, and all of us know more people are waking up each day, and once your eyes are open, they don't close again, not easily. So it's only going to go one way from here. I am so excited. Even down to the 2020 election, there's still movement on that front. It's kept quite quiet. There isn't a big hoo-ha about it, but it's still moving forward. We need these parasitic pieces of shit caught, cornered, and facing justice. And we need to bring it in the UK. Now, something that's going to be happening is there are a number of meetings coming up over the next 6 weeks. I'm not going to go into any detail on here, but there's things for the what next situation and conversations that need to be had. We are almost there with the final exhaustion in terms of our judicial system and how far we can take it. And I like to be optimistic, but I don't hold out much hope that our last ditch push is going to get us anywhere, in which case we need to start looking at what's next. Now, that's fine. If that needs to happen, that's what needs to happen. And we, the people, will rise up. We'll do it about the right way, which means we won't go out and cause complete anarchy. We'll do it the right way, and we'll ensure that people are kept safe as much as is possible. What you can do right now is form those community groups. I go on and I go on and I go on about it. I know I do. But that's because I feel so passionately about it. We cannot take care of everyone if we look at it at the national level or international level even. What we can do is do it, each of us, by our community. Now, something I'm going to push out there, I think it's a really nice idea. If people think, where do I start? What do I do? Actually, even if you can't form a hub yet, even if you don't have enough people to do that yet, what you can do is do something like the People's Alliance Big Breakfast once a month or once a week, whereby, whether you're raising money for your hub or whether you're raising money for the local village school or a local community group, I couldn't give two shits. What you do is you invite people locally to come forward and enjoy the big breakfast. They pay their bit of money to cover the cost and a little bit towards donation, but you're getting people in a room once a week or once a month whereby they have the opportunity to slowly start to speak openly. You can start a conversation, you can go in there gently, but you're bringing people together, because what you want to do is avoid the collapse situation when the balls start dropping. I don't think it will necessarily happen in a big way. I think it'll be incremental little drops, bit by bit. This is the drip, drip, drip effect. But you're still going to have people waking up. Provide them with a safety net. Provide them with somewhere to turn. Provide them with someone to talk to. Because that's how we avoid the really negative stuff happening, the huge panic, remember what it was like with COVID. People lost their fucking minds in about 3.6 seconds. Nobody could sort of approach this calmly. We need to be the calm ones. We need to be the ones that sort of say, hey, hang on. We know what's going on. It's fine. It's all going in the right direction. We've just got to step into our power, and we've got to start becoming a bit self-sufficient at community level. We've got to make sure we're growing our own food, that we're producing our own medicines and our own healing techniques, that we're starting to pull together our education back at community level, village level, little town level, whatever that might look like, district level. that it's an education that we support as parents and carers. And just so you know, the People's Alliance will be looking to launch something towards that towards the end of the year. And also local commerce, start looking at that. This is all going to fall under the People's Alliance. We've got some big stuff coming out and we're really excited about it, and we'll tell you about more soon. Just so you're aware, we've got a big PHA Gala Dinner fundraiser happening on the 29th of September that I'll invite everyone to look out for the invites next week for. We've made it as cost effective as we can, but it is a fundraiser. And we've got MC Richard Vobes coming along. He's absolutely fantastic. And we've got some quality speakers, and we'll be launching more information on that soon. But we do need to get our youth hubs off the ground, and we do need to get our mental wellbeing hotline off the ground, both of which are going to be essential for ensuring A, our future, and B, that we can keep some stability within our nation and across the world. You know, this isn't just for the UK. We'll share this with anyone. We don't care, as long as everyone can adopt it and utilise it and help save people from themselves almost. But there is so much good stuff happening, so much I'm excited about. I wake up every day vibing, absolutely vibing high, because I've been waiting 25 years for this moment. I've been watching the narrative the whole time. And even if you don't see it, I can only but assure you, I absolutely am seeing it. I'm seeing those little shifts. I'm seeing those changes. I'm seeing stuff that gets me really excited. I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I'm not panicking. In fact, I'm almost really quite laid back about it, because at last I feel that I haven't got that full responsibility on my shoulders, that I'm awake. I've got to wake the world up. I've got to tell everyone what's going on. I've got to find solutions, blah, blah, blah. No, the world is here. The world is coming. And we are going to be the ones that are the linchpins that hold things together. So make sure you get your rest, stay hydrated, enjoy this freaking wonderful weather, love your families, love your communities, and most importantly, stay positive, because honestly, the good stuff is happening and nothing can stop it. We're here. We're doing this now. So like, subscribe, share, get this out there for anyone who's feeling negative or downhearted. I know this has been a bit of a ramble. I'm going to try and be more structured moving forward. So I know this is a bit of a ramble, but it's because I'm excited and there is so much to share. Watch the Trump indictment. That's going to be fascinating to see how that rolls out. Because again, Boomerang Effect. So what you see them accuse him of, what they go after him for, what they attack him for, expect it to boomerang back at them. I'd put money on it at this stage. And I haven't been wrong about a massive amount over the last 20 years, not when it's this stuff. But yeah, it's good. It's all good. Lots of love. Take care. And I'll speak to you again soon.